immigrants with HIV allowed into Canada. That was, of course, revealed, as you can see there, by The Sun. Did this surprise you that thousands of immigrants are being allowed in? I mean, we're not talking here about refugees, because in many cases with refugees, and I'd like to say most cases, it's a desperate situation at hand, and we take them in as well, compassion. We're a country of compassion. We're known by this. But immigrants being tested, coming into our country, HIV positive, thousands of them. And not only that, but I had this article saved that we discussed, well, back in February, actually. It was just lying around, and I happened to get wind of it today. It's a bit in bad shape, but I'm going to hold it up for you anyway, okay? Here it is. I'm going to hold it up for you anyway. It says, defenseless against a world of TB. Toronto, with its growing immigration population, will likely see an increase of deadly, contagious tuberculosis. A lot of these strains of tuberculosis as well are, they're antibiotic resistant strains, very resistant. And basically, to accept people into the country knowing that they have these diseases, I'm going to leave it open to the two of you. Hear what you think about it. Dr. Williamson, what do you think?
Well, I think this is a very difficult issue. It's not so much a medical one as a one of philosophy. I don't believe that you should keep somebody out of a country just because they have a particular microbe. Now, that might not be a particularly common Canadian feeling. I understand the attitude towards many diseases, and there's a huge difference, if I might say it, from the public health aspect between tuberculosis and being HIV positive.
Lorraine Lavallee, who is the spokesman for Citizenship and Immigration Canada, I just found it was kind of strange what she said here, that they're not considered, okay, fine, they're not considered a public health risk. That people have discussed this widely with HIV, that's one story. But when she says, nor an excessive burden on the medical system, we already have excessive burdens on the medical system as is. Our population is getting older. And from the point of view of allowing, and we're talking, let's say in a year here, if we keep on doing this, letting in HIV positive people, what is that going to translate to into our already strained medical system? I have concerns about this. Yes.
Well, you know, that's exactly the point I took out of this whole story. Like, I mean, first of all, HIV I would put in the same category as, you know, breast cancer or a bad heart, unless it's only you know, imprudent conduct that can pass the infection on. It's not like the airborne disease of TB. So I would agree with Dr. Williamson in that regard. But, you know, I would much rather have people coming into the country who have cancer or bad heart or HIV.
Because you still can't get.
Well, yes. I'd rather have them come in and be in favor of, you know, non-tax funded private health care than have a bunch of healthy people come in and say, I want to take everybody's money and make them pay for my health care. To my mind, the philosophical issue, the political issue is more important than the fact that someone has bad health. The real issue here is we've created a system that's inherently, it's almost built to implode. And we're trying to use that.
I agree.
And we're trying to use that as an excuse to be racist or to be fear-mongering about various diseases, to be anti-immigration. And you often see the anti-immigration crowd, the you know, the people who relate all HIV to homosexuality, etc. They'll use the healthcare system strain argument over and over and over again. To my mind, that proves only one thing, that the healthcare system shouldn't be tax funded, and that anybody coming into this country is free to buy the health care insurance that suits them. Whether they're healthy or ill is irrelevant unless what they're bringing in is something that's airborne or easily passed, like TB, for example, in which case I think the state has a proper role, or the government has a proper role in preventing them from entering. But that's just a health crisis situation. That's not a question of philosophy. Philosophically, I think the bigger danger is bringing communists into the country rather than bringing capitalists in.